Hi everyone, welcome to Wisdom for Exploits with me, Bola Amure, as usual. We are in Cobham village in Surrey. I got with me a wonderful young lady, which is a property broker.
Yes.
And I believe she's so enjoying this trade. And that's why we're here to encourage young people, young adults, not even only young adults, including elderly ones. I know when I say elderly, people in their 40s, 50s, 60, you're not too old, even 70, you're not too old to invest in property. So we're going to invite Mary Ogunbanwo to come over.
Hello, everybody. Hello, my name is Mary Ogunbanwo. I'm a property investment broker working in Canary Wharf at the moment. And essentially my job is just to make people's money work harder for themselves. Essentially what I do is just get you involved in property and I guide you every step of the way. So if it's your first investment, if it's your 100th investment, I can get you involved in the UK property market with that safe security of knowing exactly where you're investing into. So right now, like Ms. Amure said, we are currently at our Cobham site right now. So this is one of the properties that your money would be going into. And our main role is to be making affordable houses in the UK. So yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
So over to you. Can we get on with the question? Because we need to ask Mary some few questions. You know, why is it important to get involved in property? We know a lot of people, they invest their money in things that won't give them assets in future. And we know property is very good. Even from years back up till now, we know property is something that is very important. And I know a lot of people out there, you are into this as well. So you can get, I mean, you understand what I'm saying when it comes to property. So we've got a few questions to ask Mary at the moment. Mary, why are you so interested in being a broker?
In being a broker. So essentially I wanted to start as a real estate agent, but I just always knew I wanted to work in property essentially. With being a broker, I get the chance to also work face to face with people. It's not just the development sides where we're building the houses. I get to build relationships with my clients and understand their needs. What is their financial goal? Is it for their retirement? Are they saving to pay for children's education? I want to understand why you need your money to grow for you, and I want to be able to help you to do it. That's why I love being a broker so much, not just because we're building these great houses, also because I'm helping people reach their financial goals.
Well done. Well done. You can see she's so happy about what she's doing, and I think I'm gonna bring Laura now. She's gonna ask her for the questions.
Lovely.
When it comes to property.
Okay.
So you're welcome,
Hi
everybody.
guys, I'm Laura. So the question I have for you is, what initially drew you to becoming a
Property investment broker.
And when did you
Lovely.
realize it?
Yes, so essentially, like I said, I was going to start in real estate first, but then when I saw the people side of things, and when I came to the UK 2 years ago, I realized there's a lack of houses here, just like there is in Ireland, which is where I'm from. I had the chance to also make affordable houses because in the future, I'd like to buy a house, but it's so expensive in the UK now. I had the chance to work with a developer and a brokerage that's making these affordable houses, and then also helping people, like I said, achieve their financial goals. So when I saw that opportunity, I just knew I had to take it just to be able to help people to reach their goals, essentially. This is Joe Baker. Yes, Joe. We have a tripod.
We got Joe here.
Our operations director at HJ Collection. Yes.
Oh, Joe, welcome.
Thank you.
So what is so interested in about this property? What you enjoy most, or why do you like get into property? I know you are the property operational manager. So why are you so interested in this?
Why am I so interested in property?
Yeah.
It's been a family thing for me. I've grown up with it when I was a kid. But I thoroughly enjoy changing disused spaces into spaces that people can use. Young people like myself and the generations below me, you know, spaces that we can all sort of utilise over the coming few years while we get our feet on the property ladder.
Oh, that's good. You see, that's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
So, apart from this particular project, what other project have you done? Maybe in London or abroad?
So career-wise for me, I started off what I call house bashing.
Okay.
So it was a family business, so buying houses, stripping them out, putting extensions on them and then selling them on. I went to university, Loughborough University, did a construction engineering management degree there.
Wow.
I then went and worked for a company called Skanska. Done 2.5 years with them, worked on some big projects, done a school over in Grays in Essex, big office block off of Farringdon.
Wow.
Or in Farringdon, and then I moved to Multiplex and worked on second tallest building in London, 22 Bishopsgate.
Wow.
And then I went over to Damac Towers, which is a Versace designed apartment building in Vauxhall.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
You got a lot.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then I went to work for Manchester Airport Group. Which was a jump for me because all the jobs I'd had previously were client side.
Yeah.
Were contractor side. This was the first job client side. And then I met Reece and I'm here. So
wow, well done. Well done. He's got a lot in his portfolio.
Yeah, so Joe knows what he's doing essentially.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So yeah, I mean, we'd like to encourage young adults to invest in property because we know a lot of people in the older generation, they don't think property is a big thing. They don't understand, so they invest in clothes, they invest in shoes, they invest in cars, and these are all liability. So Joe, what do you think young adults should be thinking at the moment, you know? How do you want to advise them to invest in property?
Well, all those things you just mentioned that they do currently invest in all depreciate in value over time, whereas property holds its value. In dire market conditions, and we've only ever seen it once since I've been alive, I believe, when property prices drop, but they soon go back up again. There's a very old saying that you know your money's safe in bricks and mortar, if that makes sense. And you know what we provide with HA Collection is an innovative way of doing that, which is a very hands-off approach for investors. You know, it's very hands-on for me, but it's very hands-off for investors. But you know, it's so it's good. It's you know, and I mean that in the sense that obviously my teams are here, you know, delivering the sites. So yeah.
Wow, thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. You did very well.
Yes.
What are the benefits of property investments?
So a benefit with property investment, it's not like the stocks or let's say crypto. It's not volatile. So the returns, they don't go up, they don't go down. You know exactly what you're making when you're making it back. This is the beauty of a property investment. It's fixed. So if you start with 17% for, let's say, 2-year term, you are getting 17% per annum. So essentially, because you know how much you're making back when you're making it back, it works as another source of income for yourself. Let's say you leave your money for 4 years. You know, in 4 years' time, I'm not touching this money, but in 4 years, I'm going to make X amount of returns. So it's not like stocks where you have the anxiety of, oh my God, is it going to crash? Oh my God, what's the market going to be like? With this investment, because there's an obligation to pay you those returns, essentially it's just another source of income for yourself. And everyone wants a passive income nowadays where you're not putting in the work. People like Joe are doing the work for you, you know, making these beautiful houses, but essentially you're just lending your funds to an award-winning developer and earning a fixed amount over a fixed period of time, with no anxiety like the stock market. So that's why it's great to invest in property.
Wow, she's
Yes.
so experienced. She knows what she's doing. So I think we're getting something here.
Yes.
Go ahead with your question.
So, what advice would you give to younger generation?
Younger generation. I love this question. This is my favorite because obviously I'm young myself. We need affordable houses in the UK, and also a lot of people young, they usually have a cash ISA or a savings account where they leave their money and they're like, okay, I want another source of income. I've heard of investing. I want to invest. And then they go to stocks. And then they're like, I just lost all my money. What's going on? No one really knows about these property investments. Like I've already mentioned, another way of making another source of income where you can do a short-term investment for, let's say, 2 years and your money will grow for you. So it's a predictable source of income. And also we're helping ourselves. We need affordable houses in the UK way, essentially. So it's just great on both parts. You're helping the future generation, our generation, make houses, and you're also earning a fixed amount of income. Let's say every 6 months, you can get paid throughout the investment or at the end of your investment. But it's just a way to grow your wealth, because a cash ISA right now, if you invested with that, people think, okay, it's the safer bet. You get 4 to 6%. With our investments here, you can earn up to 17%, which is even triple compared to what the cash ISA is doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I just genuinely think younger people, they need to, I know it's not put out on social media a lot. That's why I made my property page. It's just a better way in growing your wealth, essentially.
Yeah. So young
Yes.
adults, not even only young adults, retirement
Exactly,
people,
exactly.
age, and older generation as well, that still, still working. I think it's something we need to look into. I know a lot of people already get into property, and they've done quite a lot as well. They live in their own house, but they're not thinking about, okay, can I invest on property as well so that I can get passive income? So I think one of the greatest passive income at the moment is to invest in property, which is good. And for those younger age or younger generation, maybe those of you in uni, or the one that said, okay, I don't want to go to uni, I just want to be working. I think it's something you need to look into at the moment, because it's something that I think is going to last longer than any other thing. We can see what is going on, economic crash and all those stuff. But you see, with property, I believe there's a long-term investment that can give you income, and you look back and say, thank God I did this. So is there any other question you want to ask?
Okay, as a young black woman, what are the challenges like you faced, and how do you overcome them?
Yes, I got lucky in a sense. I don't even want to say lucky. It's actually all thanks to God where I am today. So I give thanks to God for everything.
Amen.
But of course, in the industry I'm working in, it's all male dominated, especially being a woman of color. There's a certain way I have to carry myself. There's certain things that I can't do that they can do, which is okay. I've accepted it because that's the life we're living. But for me, I'm not going to use it as a burden. For me, I use it as a way I stand out, which is a good thing. So it's always like on the phones, I use it as my advantage, because nobody really remembers, the chappy man on the phone. But being a black woman, an Irish woman as well, on the phones, they remember your accent, they remember your banter. So I use it as a superpower. Honestly, I won't say that sometimes it's not hard. Of course, there are hard days too. But of course, it comes with the beauty of the job. There's good days and bad days. With anything in life, good days and bad days. But one thing I will say to anyone that does want to get into property as a career, especially if you're doing cold calls, if you're doing, phone calls all the time, there's a lot of rejection in the industry. You have to get used to people saying, no, I'm not interested. But just sell them. I never take no, I'm not interested as okay, that's it. No, I call you again and I sell it to you. And in a show, I always make an elevator pitch. So for anyone who wants to get into property, have that elevator pitch, 15 seconds, and just sell your product and sell yourself, essentially.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I just have some questions before we round it up?
Of course.
What about if we have somebody listening to us out there, and they said, okay, a lot of people come and say UK. What about other countries? I know you're comfortable with where you live, and because you know the in and out of the country you're living at. So what about somebody that said, okay, maybe they live in Dubai, because we know there's so much investment going on in Dubai as well. Because I remember 2017, we were at the airport, they were saying to us, the first person that said hello to us at the airport as they're coming out, was property issue. Exactly. They said, we're having this conference in this building, then come, and we did that way with my husband.
Did go? Okay.
We did go.
It worked. Okay.
Yeah, it really worked, because we were there, and we had the conversation and all that. We said, we're just going for holiday. We're not into this. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do. And now they're realizing, we should have invested, many years ago. So apart from UK, is there any other maybe investments that you're into? I know this is your company, HJ Collection, but what about people that said, okay, I don't want to live in UK anymore, I want to move to another country, or if I invest in your company and move abroad, am I still gonna get my money back?
I love this question.
Yeah.
Essentially, my client, her name is actually Katara. She invested with me 2 weeks ago. She's 20. I'm going to use her as an example. She's moving to Thailand in September. She said to me, you know, I'm not going to be here to see the properties. It's my first time investing. I'm a bit antsy because what happens? Do I still get, you know, posts in the mail? We work with clients from 60 different places in the world. Some people have never seen a development before, but they know they exist. These are tangible assets you're investing in. Property is always going to be in demand. Essentially, 20 years from now, people are still going to need houses. You don't have to be in the UK to invest. Some people, it gives them that security. I can go see the asset. I see where my money is going into. But this just works as another source of income for yourself, where you get weekly updates to your email. You see our YouTube videos. You see our site tours. We do so many inclusive things. We have events for our clients. We even have a webinar on the 3rd of July online for our global clients, so you can see the company. You can meet us face to face, even if it's through a Zoom call, where you can invest from anywhere in the world, essentially. I know this is just UK property at the moment, but I think UK property is the best right now, especially with the tariffs and Trump and all the changes he's making too.
Tell me about it.
So essentially, you know, investing in the UK is just great because it's more readable at the moment. And the returns, like I said, if you're investing for 2 years, you're getting whatever you agree on. If you say 13% per annum, that's what you're getting. So with the UK property market, we're able to give you that security essentially with your returns. But let's say if you invested in stocks, you can invest from anywhere. Like I said, you don't know what you're making back when you're making it back.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's why it's for that
because
security.
stock with the stock,
Yes.
stock exchange fluctuates, isn't it?
Yes.
So sometimes it goes up, this time it goes up.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me ask this question. We know as well with the property, the prices fluctuate as well. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, like what Darren said earlier on.
Yeah.
So let's say now I invest in this property.
Yes.
And now we said, okay, every six months, this is the percentage I'm gonna get from my money.
Yeah.
And now they announce on the TV, I said, okay, we have issue with the property in the UK and it's gone down, and the the property price has gone down.
Yeah.
So am I still gonna get that percentage?
Like I mentioned, there's an obligation. We must pay you those returns because we've already bought the property, and because we have fundraisers, we have a cap. So once the investors' funds are in, right now you're going to be investing in HJC5. Once the cap is done, the cap is done. So we have all the investors' funds. We're ready to pay you guys back your returns because we buy under market value. We're able to do that. We're always in the green. That's why we're not building from the ground up. We're buying rundown commercial buildings to always be in the green, ready to pay back investors.
Okay, thank you very much, viewers. Thank you. So we know property is the best thing to invest in at the moment, because we can see the old things going on, economic and all those stuff. So property can never cease, because I remember that when we're going, my daddy so much love property. So I think property can never go off the track.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, listener. God
Thank
bless
you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you.
I look for anything that's going to cost money, basically, and then I go away and I put it all into a process, like a document. We work out what consultants we need, what surveys we need. We work out what the main risk factors are, so we start building a risk register. We pretty much it all sort of comes together. We put it to, I make a recommendation to Reese. Reese reviews the information, he reviews the photos I send him, and that's sort of all those things I've just mentioned there, for example, can be quite onerous on the build, which means that they will cost money. You know, so we budget money in, and then we use all that to sort of make an informed decision. You know, 9 times out of 10, the purchase price we get offered is not the, you know.
Aman, and the guy bought the property, but he didn't check the planning permission. And he has all this thing in his head that I want to do this, I want to do that. Eventually, he couldn't get the permit. The council said, no, they're not going to give you this permit. And
got to read the legal paper.
it was just...
Yeah, well, that's part of the appraisal process. We look at the planning application, we look at the planning conditions, we look at all the documents that are submitted as part of the planning application, subject to planning. So we would never purchase a building, or we haven't to date purchased a building that hasn't got planning.
To do all this before you now go to the local authority to say, okay, now I want to get, what's it called again? Approval, isn't it? To do, this is what we want to build.
Community development.
Yeah, so the site, every site we look at has permitted development either approved or